The intentional life, how your energy shapes your reality. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract exactly what they need precisely when they need it, while others can't catch a break no matter how hard they try? I used to think it was just luck, random chance, the universe playing favorites. But after my recent conversation with Shovia Muchirawehondo, I've come to understand something profound about how our world actually works, something that changes everything. Shovia isn't just another success coach or motivational speaker. She's a revolutionary force reshaping how Black professionals approach achievement in spaces that weren't designed for them to thrive. Her methodology cuts through the noise of toxic hustle culture and offers something far more sustainable: the power of intentional alignment. What makes her work truly extraordinary is how she's helping people transform their realities without denying the very real systemic challenges they face. Most people, she told me during our conversation, are trying to outwork their negative thoughts. They believe if they just hustle harder, the doubt and fear won't matter. She paused then, letting that sink in. But that's like trying to outrun your shadow. No matter how fast you go, it's still there. I had to sit with that for a moment. How many of us are exhausting ourselves trying to outpace our insecurities rather than addressing them directly? What Shovia revealed is both simpler and more profound. What you project through your thoughts, your words, your very intentions directly influences what you attract in your life and business. This isn't some mystical secret, it's a practical reality that shapes our experiences every single day. Instead of endless hustle, Shovia advocates for something more powerful: intentional alignment, aligning your mind, body, spirit, and community with your goals. When every part of you is working in harmony, not just working harder, you amplify both personal fulfillment and professional impact. This isn't just theory. I've seen it play out in remarkable ways across communities of Black entrepreneurs and professionals who are rewriting the rules of success. Take Letitia Clark. After witnessing talented Black women being dismissed from their roles while less qualified colleagues thrived, Letitia could have simply complained about the injustice. She could have internalized it as just the way things are. Instead, she founded the Pink Parachute Diaries podcast. Letitia had observed a disturbing pattern. Vibrant, capable Black women would enter companies full of promise and potential, only to leave feeling hollow, diminished by unspoken challenges and systemic inequities. These women faced pressure to remain silent about their struggles, fearing stereotyping or retaliation if they spoke up. Letitia refused to let these voices disappear unnoticed. She created a storytelling platform where these experiences could be shared authentically without shame or fear, a space for healing through connection. What began as a simple podcast blossomed into an influential community, amplifying underrepresented voices across industries. The power of her intention transformed individual setbacks into collective upliftment. One listener wrote to Letitia, "For years, I thought I was the problem. Hearing these stories made me realize I wasn't crazy. I wasn't alone. For the first time, I felt seen." This is the power of intentional community, creating spaces where people can show up fully as themselves and be validated in their experiences. As Maya Angelou wisely said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." The Pink Parachute Diaries makes people feel seen, heard, and valued, perhaps for the first time in their professional lives. But intention isn't just about creating community, it's also about redefining what success looks like on your own terms. Consider Rashanda Booker, whose story was featured on the Pink Parachute Diaries. As a Black woman entrepreneur, Rashonda struggled against societal expectations that demanded she sacrifice her mental health or authenticity just to succeed professionally. We've all heard the saying that Black professionals need to be twice as good to get half as far. This toxic standard has driven countless talented individuals to burnout, depression, and physical illness in pursuit of an impossible ideal. Rashonda rejected this narrative entirely. Instead, she embraced holistic self care practices alongside strategic career planning. She documented her journey publicly, showing that ambition and well being aren't opposing forces, they're complementary energies that fuel sustainable success. Her approach led not only to business growth, but also personal wellness, a dual win rarely highlighted in traditional success narratives. By refusing to accept the false choice between achievement and authenticity, she modeled new possibilities for others watching her path unfold. I realized, Rashonda shared, that success built on self sacrifice isn't success at all. It's just delayed failure. This perspective aligns perfectly with what Shovia Muchirawehondo teaches about holistic alignment. True success for Black professionals comes from engaging all aspects of yourself: mind, body, spirit, and community. When these elements work in harmony, you don't just achieve more, you thrive more. But perhaps the most powerful demonstration of intentional living comes from what happened next, how the audience cultivated around the pink parachute diaries transformed from passive listeners into active community builders. Many joined initially seeking solace, feeling isolated or discouraged due to workplace adversity or entrepreneurial setbacks unique to their identities. Through regular engagement, sharing stories online, forming mastermind circles inspired by podcast themes. They've built trust based networks supporting each other's journeys toward positivity. These weren't just support groups, they became incubators for collaboration and growth. Members report greater confidence pursuing bold moves in business and life after connecting with like minded peers who affirm their worth beyond professional titles. Numerous collaborations, including joint ventures between members, have emerged directly from these connections fostered by shared intention setting practices discussed on the podcast. One member put it beautifully: before finding this community, I was the only Black woman in my industry, in my city. I felt like I was constantly swimming upstream. Now I have a fleet of boats moving with me. We're not just surviving, we're creating a new current. This grassroots movement is shifting norms about vulnerability, collaboration, and self worth among Black professionals across industries. It demonstrates how individual mindset shifts ripple outward into transformative communal change. As Shovia explained to me, surrounding yourself with people who have genuine intentions creates a support network that fosters resilience, validation, and hope. Building intentional communities helps break cycles of isolation common among Black entrepreneurs while enabling collective advancement. I want to pause here and acknowledge something important. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's not about ignoring real challenges or systemic barriers. The women I've mentioned face genuine obstacles: racism, sexism, unequal access to capital and networks. These are real problems that require structural solutions. But what Shovia's wisdom reveals is that how we respond to these challenges matters profoundly. We can approach them with intention rather than reaction. We can consciously choose where to direct our energy, even when we can't control our circumstances. As the brilliant Audre Lorde once said, caring for myself is not self indulgence, it is self preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. For Black women entrepreneurs, especially, intentional self care isn't a luxury. It's a revolutionary act that preserves the energy needed for long term impact. So, what does this mean for you? How can you apply these insights to your own life and work? Start with a simple morning practice. Challenge yourself each morning this week to set one clear intention focused on positivity for your business or personal life. Notice what changes when you do this consistently. Then look at your community. Are you surrounded by people whose energy aligns with where you want your journey headed? If not, seek out at least one new connection this month who embodies the qualities you wish to cultivate. Remember that intention without action is merely wishful thinking, but action without intention is just busy work. The magic happens when the two align, when what you do flows naturally from who you are and what you truly value. As I reflect on everything Shovia Muchirawehondo shared with me, I'm struck by how practical this wisdom really is. It's not about manifesting millions while ignoring reality. It's about consciously directing your energy toward what matters most, then taking aligned action to bring it into being. The women of the Pink Parachute Diaries community aren't just talking about intention, they're living it. They are creating spaces where Black women can be fully seen and valued. They are building businesses that honor their whole selves. They are forming communities that uplift rather than deplete. And in doing so, they are changing not just their own lives, but the very landscape of what professional success looks like. We stand at a critical crossroads today. We can continue to pursue success in ways that fragment us, that force us to leave parts of ourselves behind, that isolate us from our communities. Or we can embrace a new paradigm, one where success is measured not just in dollars or titles, but in wholeness, community impact, and sustainable joy. I challenge you to become a revolutionary in your own life, to reject the false narratives about what achievement must cost you, to align your intentions with your deepest values, to build communities that see and celebrate your full humanity. Because when you change how you show up in the world, you change what the world reflects back to you. When you refuse to dim your light to make others comfortable, you give permission for others to shine as well. This isn't just about personal transformation, it's about collective liberation. It's about creating ripples that become waves, that become tsunamis of change. What you water grows. What are you nurturing today? What energy are you projecting into the world? The answer to these questions will shape not just your reality, but our shared future. The time for intentional living isn't someday, it's now. The world is waiting for you to show up fully aligned, deeply intentional, and radiantly yourself.